Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. The praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all systems of knowledge. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah. He's alone in the room, no partners, no bosses, is not in any person, is not energy, not a high power, but the creator power, the creator image. Doesn't have any children. He creates. He is creator. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the Khatam Nabiyun. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is only reserved for Muhammad, not for any other prophet. The rest of them we say as-salat wa as-salam. But on Muhammad, who was the perfect human being, the Muhammad, not on Muhammad, not his dress, the Muhammad, in him, he's the best. For all who have hopes for the next life. That means all who will know that they're going to be accountable. Because 100 years from now, none of us will be here. But guess what? We all will be accountable. Now, I'm not here to teach you on what it is in the next life. But anybody get up there teaching you on what the next life is a liar. Brother Imam, you say he's a liar? He doesn't know anything about it. Allah says in the Quran, of a soul we know, we believe it, we trust it. So the purpose of a khutbah and the purpose of life that Muhammad gave us is teach us how to live and teach us how to be successful in this life. And our address, our khutbah today is creating the winning spirit for success. Allah says the successful are the believers, the trusted. Not to the fools, not to the doubters, but to the trusted. And our focus is waduha, aduha. Aduha lays the foundation for what difficulties will be in human life and how human beings will attain that victory. Waduha, by the glorious, translation by the 40, but by the duha, I mean the beginning of the day when things are dark. And in your life, things going to start out being dark. Your vocation and where you're going is darkness. You don't see it. And I know of an example of a man came to me one time, felt real sorry for him. He said, brother, could I borrow $20? And I thought, what could you do with $20? He said, my rent is $6,000, and I'm going to pay my rent. I thought it was crazy. But the night when it's darkness, when things are dark, you can't see. This man could see. He saw in the darkness, in his eyes, in his mind vision. And it says, standing still, and you've been in darkness. You know where you were going. But on a highway. And it goes with the comfort. Your Lord have neither forsaken you nor he's forgotten about you, he hates you. Struggle is a necessary part. I'm sure the ancestors of ours, the African Americans in here, when they put them on that dark ship, put them on there and they would drag about 800 to 900 miles through the interior of Africa. Remember, these were Muslims. They had come from the Mandi government. They had come from the Songhai government. They had come from Wolof government. These were governors and leaders to be kidnapped and put in darkness, abused and misused. And as they got on that ship and saw darkness, wandering for 40 days sometime on the sea, they said, Simi Allahu liman hamadan. Allah heard some were, not all were Muslims. Some were bad people on this ship. But they said if you praise God, eventually things going to get all right. And then it says, it goes on to say, indeed, the akhirah, the future, not speaking of just the life after we die, but the future will be better for you. And so this brother trusted that. Put that $20. He was in New York. So he went to the wholesale district. And I thought it was the most craziest thing in the world. I just would see cooking, you know. Somebody asked me for money. If I got it, I'm going to give it to him. Muslim, yeah, give it to him. And I didn't have much faith. I had no basis for that. He came back uptown. He kept coming back uptown. He'd go down to 160, 110, 100, went down 28th Street, the wholesale district. He had $20 merchandise, which was the equivalent retail of about $100 merchandise. So he kept going back. He turned that. He didn't stop and get no popcorn. He didn't stop and look at porno. He didn't stop and waste his time. He didn't stop gossiping. He just kept on grinding. He trusted the future. And Allah says that this is for anything. And verily your Lord will give you all that you shall be well pleased. And he would dedicate, I don't particularly like the translator, he says, and then he found you, O Muhammad, and often gave you refuge, and he found you unaware, and he gave you the Quran. No, he found you ignorantly, darling. Darling means to struggle, just like we struggle in the church, just like we struggled in the Nation of Islam. Huh? Well, dedicate, darling, wandering. The same verse is used in the Al-Fatiha. Huh? People are not charged with struggling. People are charged once they get the message, and that's the punishment. And that's where it says, Khayr Madubi. Huh? So the indictment is upon the Muslim world who hasn't taught people how to live a life of victory. Do they have to go to Joel Osteen? Do they have to go to Mike Freeman? Do they have to go to J.B. Jenkins to learn? It's in the Quran. Huh? Muflihin. Those who are successful. Oh, brother, it's talking only about how you live spiritually. No. This is a material world that Allah put you in. So this brother, he prayed, he struggled. He went downtown, he told me. The first thing he did, he prayed and went downtown. And he squatted. Squatted. And asked Allah for guidance. You don't think Allah will guide you to become rich? The same Rabbil Alamin. Listen to that. Rabbil Alamin. The Lord of all systems of knowledge. So he waited for the guidance. And he found an item. And he worked that item. And he worked that item. And Allah gave him something that he was pleased with. And he came back. He wasn't too brave. He gave me $100. I said, oh. I jammed, but anyway, alhamdulillah. See, the point is, that's the message we should be preaching to our people in these streets. You say preaching? Absolutely. Sometimes you got to preach. Preach is mubashir. Bearer of good news. Is money some good news for you, bro? Is medicine a good news for you sick? Is somebody giving you guidance good news? And the difference between teaching is you are to exhort people. So I'm hoping that somebody's going to run out here now, go somewhere and buy just some umbrellas or some shovels if they broke and make some money. I'm hoping that somebody who's sick going to get up and go on a detox and work on their health. And they're going to trust Allah. That's what these footballs are for. Somebody going to come out here today, ain't got a wife, to go out and look for a wife. Because they said, well, Jeddah Kadal and Fahad. Huh? Oh, a sister going to go out active. Well, remember, Jeddah is a verb. It means action. You can't sit back and wait for something to happen. It doesn't work that way. You got to struggle. You got to run. You go to Hajj, anybody know, I think about Edward Salam, Rahmatullah Alayhi. We're on Hajj together. And we running. Let me just be honest with you. Hajj ain't easy. Hajj is a sign of what life is. It's a global ideology. Hot. I went over, it wasn't that hot because it was about 110 degrees. And that was in November around here. But that's hot. You can take your clothes off, your cram off, put it in the shower, and it will actually be dry in 15 minutes. That's how hot it was. Wow. Okay? Now you're running, not walking. Ain't no walking. This ain't no casual down Broad Street stroll. You are running to and fro 7 times. I think it's about a mile. Because Allah wants you to know that if you're going to achieve victory, you're going to have hardship and struggle. That's why I tell people, life ain't positive, negative. Life is life. And you have to have intense struggle to establish anything. You want a husband? You got to struggle for it. I know a friend of mine, he's been married 7 times. He said, why he just give up? Why should he? Sabra, sabra. And then the 8th time, he got a wife, he's in heaven. I said, man, oh man. I said, you're in heaven. Yeah. He said, no. I said, stop. Bad witness to the truth. That's a leave Rob the character, man. I was with you when you were miserable. But you trusted Allah. And you struggled. And Allah guided you. Allah will guide all systems of knowledge. Nobody thought back in March that there would be a vaccine. There's a brother that looked like us is actually working to have a cure for COVID. A cure. Actual medicine that will cure it. Not down these fake stuff that we talk about. I mean real cure. Why? Because Allah is the Rabbil Alameen. Huh? He is the Rabbil of oncology. Oncology is the science of cancer. Huh? The Rabbil Alameen of cardiology. Huh? That's why when we search, and I didn't get this on my own. I got it from a teacher. Imam Alfred Muhammad, a blessed man that brought millions of Muslims that were intentional Muslims into Islam, including Malcolm. They were brought in with this understanding, and this understanding that had brought him where he could go into Fez, Morocco, and teach Sultan the first and second and the 5th, Sultan Muhammad, and all the rest of the leaders. And they marveled. But he struggled. Allah blessed him. That's Allah. This is not an abracadabra, abracadoo, God, not magic. There's a process. You know, I asked the question, did he not found you an orphan? Huh? African Americans are orphan. We ain't got no mother father. That's why I heard a foreign Muslim tell me, why you got your name Alfred and your last name is Muhammad. I said my previous name was a kidnapper. Somebody stole me. I don't recognize kidnappers. I don't recognize terrorists. I was terrorized for 400 years. Yes. And Allah didn't just bring me back quickly. He was Rabbil out of me. He evolved. With great leaders. Through Ali, Abi like Muhammad, others just kept working. Emptied the slave out of us and prepared us for this book. See, and he found you poor with Jedika and land for Haganah. You don't believe that Allah is going to make billionaires to dwarf Jeff Bezos? Yes. He's going to make billionaires from among you. He's going to pay you back if you're good for if you stay on the path. Don't get Islam to hide it. Don't get Islam to open up a store and say anything you want to people. Sell them cigarettes, pork, alcohol. Now, get them and say, brother, this is what it happened. Go upstairs. They got people up there. They know the environment better. And let them teach you. That's what I remember the imam there at Raouf down at the Islamic Center. This was 50 years ago. You told people, come up 116th Street. Why did he tell them that? You got to be cleaned up. Your mind has to be in order for you to get out of Islam, right? You have to be clean. Your heart has to be clean. So people have to get out of bad habits. I have two very prominent people want to come into Islam. Don't rush. Study it. Because you keep studying and struggling, you can make this a lot. And eventually, I know people who was drinking, smoking weed. No, don't laugh. I know them. Guess what? 20 years later, I heard him talking to one of his ex-companions of hell, because drugs, that's hell. I don't care what it is, reefer, pot, marijuana, all those, that's hell. To be out of your mind is hell. To burn your clothes up is hell. That's why I'm so opposed to legalizing marijuana. But this man kept struggling. God guided him. And I heard him tell one of his friends in hell, he said, ex-friends in hell, he said, brother said to him, see, anything for the head? He said, I got the Quran and the life of Muhammad. He said, man, not you. He said, yeah, me. Don't smoke no more. He said, I don't get out no more. 5 years. So what did you do? You go to ANA? He said, I made up in my mind that I kept on struggling and asked Allah to bless me to get out of it. Kept on with that. Kept struggling. And after a while he said just, وَجَدَّكَ darling for Hadi. That's what we have to do. We have to understand that life is about struggle. Huh? So this man, with his $20, eventually he had a store, he had a business, a home, $20 and hard work. And as old Don King says, only America. But America offers us that opportunity. Don't let nobody beat this place up that you can't get opportunities here. You can. I seen people come here selling a watch. And we're going to address the public. We're opening up a center to teach our people the application of Al-Islam. And my hope is in 5 years we will make a whole bunch of millionaires, not with multi-level marketing, not with any of that, but 4 or 5 brothers living in an apartment, maybe 2 families sharing an apartment, saving our money. And when they all get out of there, they all will buy houses. That's what it's about. It's about hard work. It's not by magic. It's not by spookism. This Quran is not a spooky book. This is not a magical book. This is not mashery. Mashery is gambling. That's throwing your life to chances. That's what mashery is. Come to get drunk. When you're drunk on crazy ideas, that's being drunk. And then Allah goes on to tell us, treat not the orphans with affection. Huh? That's the purpose of all the struggle, to sensitize you to other people. And consequently, I'm asking you at Masjid Al Hadi to hold a big meeting, even with social distance, and invite people here in Elizabeth so I can teach them. I was taught by Imam Alfred, Muhammad, made on the council of Imams. One of the only leaders out of this whole association is now an elected official. And I want to share my experience. I want to share what Allah has given me from my teacher, what I've gotten out of the Quran to transform our people. Our people? You ain't concerned about your children? You ain't concerned about your cousins? You better first be concerned about your cousins. Your family first. Huh? Your family. And the African American people are your family. And any good Muslim will come here, he will support you in that idea. Huh? We got people in group homes. You don't feel for them? That's what it means. And don't repulse the beggar. I be jammed up. The brother asked me for $20. I gave him $20. Now, I didn't reap any benefits personally from that, but my psyche benefited from that. That I seen somebody who had gotten the victory. And you know what? This man was generous enough to hire young brothers. They coming out of jail. He gave them jobs. Huh? Taught other men how to do the same thing. That's what it means, proclaim the ni'mah. Proclaim what the blessed Allah has given you. Let the world know what he has given you. Proclaim and invite them. Prepare in your mind a khutbah to tell people what you have gone through. Do you know that's more powerful? You don't have to be a mufti to teach people. That's the mistake of the Muslim leaders of the world. Oh, brother, you got to be ulama. You got to be mufti. No, you don't be nothing. You don't have to be a sheikh, a milkshake, or any of those kind of sheikhs. What you have to be is sincere. And you tell the brother, this is what happened to me. I'm Willie Bobo. And let me tell you, I was Willie Bobo. And this is what happened. I was living this kind of like Willie Bobo. And so after a while, I was tired of living the life of Willie Bobo. I picked up and went to school. I got a trade. I learned. I got a CDL license. And it's only because I first got my head straight. I told a brother right now, I won't name him. He's a big-time star. He's a family big-time star. He came to me and said, Imam, councilman, I need a job. I said, brother, you don't need a job. I looked at him, his pants was baggy. You know the hadith of the prophet? The man's clothes was dirty. His livelihood was dirty. Smelled like he just come out of a reefer dispensary. You know? He was dirty physically. I mean, he was, and this guy was a Muslim. So I said, you know what? I said, you're about 6'4". I don't want to describe it too much. You may know who I'm talking about. I said, you know what? You need a new mind. I said, you're big enough to squeeze me and break me up. I raised 4 boys under difficult circumstances. And I said, you know what? You need a new mind. Got him a job. You know where he's at now? facing a murder charge. So we are to teach people to make their lives better. Teach them how to live a more successful life. How to apply the gifts that Allah has given them. And He's given it to us all. We are His possessions. And when we feel what is called ihsan, know that Allah sees you. And know for a fact that whatever it is that you have experienced, you should share it with others and how you have overcome them. That's why Allah allowed you to go through these difficulties. That's why He allowed this man the $20. And that's what happens. That's the curse of the Muslim world. Wealth. And they got people starving. 50 miles away from it. Sometimes in their own country. I won't name these countries. I know places right around the world, in the Muslim world, if you ain't got no money, you ain't going to get, you'll die. But the Muslims here in America have an opportunity to show the model. Kuntum khayran ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You are the best raised up for the people. And 4 years from now, the people will come to us and ask us to lead America. But you got to be right. You got to have this book in you. Oh Allah, make the Quran our life. Make it our protection. Make it our guide. Make us to exemplify it. Even when we fell from it, that we pick it up, live it, implement it, and teach it to others. I'm going to recite the Al-Fatihah. We ran over time. I want to respect you all. But I did get carried away. Oh, Allah bless Masjid Al Hadi to be a citadel of guidance. Blessed be a healing point. Heal the sick among us. Heal the broken families from among us. Help all those of us who are poor, have no resources, to get resources. Help the community to be more responsible. Help us to make the religion of Al-Islam to be the ideology of America without forcing people. Make us to be the best example. Let us be the people that exemplify the greatest leader that ever walked the earth, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and be obedient to you and realize that we're doing it not for our sake. We're doing it because Allah has ordered us to do it, and we obediently surrender. It come to salat. Where's he now? Stand right here?
Yes.